What is up, you guys? It is Zach, and welcome to the Nintendo News Show, a news show where I talk about all the Nintendo news from the week before. Today we have a decent amount of news, not as much news as usual, but we'll get through it either way. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff down below. And click the little notification bell if you want to be notified of any videos I post in the future. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first news update we have for you today is that Nintendo is actually getting more space for their developers, for their internal developers to develop new games, particularly 2 new spots. Firstly, they're renting a couple floors in a building they actually used to use to develop games. So Nintendo will be renting the 6th and 7th floors of the Kyoto City Waterworks Bureau's new government building, and that will start in May of 2022. And there's actually a new building that is being developed, which is actually going to be built right next to Nintendo's current HQ. And that rented space will house more development resources as well. So this is really interesting, because that obviously means more Nintendo games. That means more Nintendo developed games. And I'm really interested to see what they actually end up doing with this. And they actually contribute, the ability to have these new development spaces to the Switch's success. The Nintendo Switch's success is very obvious. It's about to surpass 100 million units sold in a little bit. And yeah, it makes sense. This is a very big thing for Nintendo, having more space to develop while not having to outsource their development as much. Because we know that Nintendo gives a lot of its franchises to people to develop, like Luigi's Mansion to, Next Level Games, and then Mario Party to Ending Cube, etc., etc. They'll have to do less of that, but maybe it'll also spark some creativity within Nintendo, because we know that, at least in my personal opinion, Nintendo hasn't been as creative recently, in my personal opinion. So I think that having more in-house developers can spark some creativity and really create some greatness. So I'm really excited to see what comes of this. Now, the next news update is actually kind of a sad one. The creator of the NES and the Super Nintendo, Masayuki Umura, hopefully I pronounced that name right, has actually died at the age of 78. This man is a real legacy to Nintendo. He's a real icon, the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo are, very much iconic systems at this point. If the gaming today wouldn't be what it is without those two systems, with the Nintendo introducing the idea of multiple buttons, and then the Super Nintendo with the shoulder buttons. There's a lot that we have to thank Nintendo for, when it comes to those older systems, and Masayuki Umura is responsible for that. And it's really unfortunate to hear of his passing. My thoughts and condolences go out to his family, and, he will be missed. He's an icon that should definitely be remembered. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the Game Awards. The Game Awards came and went, and it was a very Nintendo Light presentation. So Nintendo Light that Nintendo didn't really even show up. Yeah, Doug Bowser was there to accept the award for Metroid Dread, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but they didn't announce anything. No Nintendo announcements at all. Now, Jeff Keighley actually did a presentation, where he talked about the Game Awards on Twitter, using the Twitter Spaces kind of thing. And loads of people asked him questions and talked to him about the event. And I did catch one person talking about how they missed Nintendo's presence, how Nintendo wasn't there, and they were pretty sad about that. And it seems like one of those things that that wasn't up to Jeff Keighley. It wasn't Jeff Keighley's fault that Nintendo didn't show up. And I kind of knew this with Chris, when we were doing the stream, kind of talked about this. It really isn't up to Jeff Keighley what games come and get announced and revealed and showed off more at the Game Awards. That's up to the developers if they want to have them show up. I'm sure Jeff Keighley was asking Nintendo, hey, do you want to come reveal The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2? Or, something new? Or do you want to do something? Nintendo's like, no, we don't have anything to show off yet. Or, no, we don't want to show off anything until Nintendo Direct. So, in my personal opinion, I think we shouldn't be blaming the Game Awards for being bad for Nintendo's non-presence. That's more of a Nintendo thing. But if things aren't ready, then they're not ready. We can't force Nintendo to show things that aren't ready. Heck, even the things we saw at the Game Awards, most of them were CG trailers. That means they weren't ready. The games weren't ready to show off, so they just made a CG trailer to raise hype for something that isn't ready yet. But nonetheless, like I said, Nintendo actually won an award. And no, it wasn't in the Nintendo category, which is a family game. Which actually I was really upset about that Mario Party didn't win that. But they did win Best Action Adventure Game with Metroid Dread. Which was really, really interesting. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I mean, there was a bunch of other great contenders in that category. I did not expect Metroid Dread to take it. But it did, because 2D Metroid hasn't been done in a long time. It's something that Nintendo steered away from in favor of the 3D ones, being the Prime games and Federation Force. But nonetheless, it still proved to be popular, and Doug Bowser got on stage and accepted the award, and it was really awesome. Hopefully more Nintendo news comes soon, and maybe Nintendo will do more 2D Metroids in the future. We'll have to see on that. Now, even though Nintendo didn't have a presence really at the Game Awards, there were still some games talked about that are coming to the Switch. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of them because there were a decent amount, but the main highlights were Sonic Frontiers, which finally got its reveal trailer. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of every single game going the Breath of the Wild style, trend that's going on. I mean, hey, it might work out for it, but every time Zelda's tried to go ambitious, it's just never worked for the fans, so I'm interested to see what it's going to do. My main thing is that the world just kind of looks empty. Doesn't look like there's really much to it, just open grass fields, not really much there. So I don't know. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic about this new Sonic game. Maybe it'll be good, but I just want them to have stuff in the world, make the world seem alive and interactive, because it's a Sonic game, right? It's not like The Legend of Zelda or Pokemon that are probably better suited for this open world style. Like, I'm not saying open world Sonic is a bad idea. I'm saying that Breath of the Wild style of open world, I don't know if it'll work for Sonic. But we'll have to see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I guess we'll see more in the trailers to come. Cuphead is getting its final DLC. I believe it's the final DLC. And people have been waiting a while for this DLC, I'm pretty sure. I remember someone in chat telling me that it was about, I think, 2019 when this was supposed to come out, and it's 2021 now, and then it's not coming out until 2022. But nonetheless, I know people are very excited for this. I'm personally excited for this because, if I'm not mistaken, Cuphead's DLC, like when that DLC ends, that's when the physical version will be coming out. And I've been wanting to play Cuphead on the Switch, but I haven't gotten the physical version. So, I'm excited to see this Cuphead DLC come out because I really want to play the game, but you know me, I don't want to get it digitally. I want to get the physical version. So yeah, happy for you Cuphead fans, finally getting your final DLC. And the last major game of note here is Persona 4 Arena something. I don't know if there's more subtitles than that, but Persona 4 Arena, which is like a fighting Persona game. It's weird that, Atlas will give, Persona 4 Arena, Persona Scramble, Strikers, whatever that game's called, but they're not going to give the actual Persona games. Like, they're announcing everything but the mainline games, and to me, that makes me think they're going to be doing some sort of collection, like they're going to be doing a Persona, 4 and 5 double pack or something for the Switch. Just because, why would they release all these side games, but not the actual games? But, I mean, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. Personally, I don't care too much about the Persona games, but given that Joker's in Smash and people want Persona on the Switch, I think it is a game that would do well, so hopefully they announce something soon. Next up, there's a new Tetris 99 Maximus Cup, the 27th to be exact, and it is based on Mario Party Superstars. This is really cool. I mean, I never really cared for the Maximus Cups because they don't really do much for me. They just kind of add an image in the background and change up the music, but it's still pretty cool. I hope that people enjoy it. It's kind of cool. I don't really know what else to say other than that. Yeah. And then lastly, we have the news that I have been waiting for, well, really only for a couple months now. Banjo Kazooie is heading to the Nintendo Switch online service app, or I should say the Nintendo 64 online app, in January of 2022, so next month. They announced this right after Paper Mario came out for the Switch, which I will be doing a playthrough of this week, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Banjo Kazooie as well, most definitely. They didn't give an exact release date, but I'm pretty excited to hear more information, see the trailer to see how the game looks, to kind of compare it to the Xbox version, because I know it won't look as good. But I'm very excited to finally play Banjo Kazooie on a Nintendo platform. You know, it's the first time since the Nintendo 64, and it feels great. I can't wait to play this game, and it is doing the thing that I said in my last Nintendo News update, where I was like, oh, they're going to do these hopefully once a month, and it seems like that's what they're going to do, and I'm fine with that. Though I did watch, I think it was RGT85, who did a video on this saying, like, if you're going to do the N64 games every month, but like you're not going to do the NES and SNES games every month, then the expansion pack people are getting stuff, but then the base people aren't. It's a mess. Nintendo should really sort their stuff out. But nonetheless, it is really exciting to see that we actually might be getting one N64 game a month rather than every 3 months. Like, freaking, like, thank goodness. Like, if I had to wait like 3 more months for Banjo Kazooie and then 3 more months for Majora's Mask, I would have just lost it. So yeah, that's Banjo Kazooie on the Nintendo Switch Online. Very excited for it. So let me know if I missed anything about this week's news. I just didn't really think there was much notable this week, even with the Game Awards and all that, which is kind of funny. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching this week's Nintendo News Show. Really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below. Hit that little notification bell so you're notified of when I upload videos. And yeah, so until next time, guys, I'll see you all in the next video.